Pastor Chip, it's really meant a lot to me for him to be the chaplain for the football team at Southeast Bullock. He has given out the cards and does the devotionals with them, and it mentors my older son, but then he's also included my younger son, Rhett, as a ball boy on Friday nights, and they talk constantly throughout the games. And I just was wondering, what are you talking to Pastor Chip about? And he's like, nothing, everything. We talk about everything, and nothing, And I was like, it just really amazed me because he's watering their seeds and planting seeds with them, and it just means a lot to me that they feel so comfortable around him, and he's doing a great job.
Who have been here and whose parents and grandparents started this church, and a lot of people have left, but it's amazing to see the people who come in and the things that we cherish about our church, you guys begin to cherish and say how special it is. And that kind of almost, it kind of brings to light the good things that we have in this church, the community, the fellowship, the love, the family, the multi-generations that are here. It's amazing. And so we thank you for coming and staying and helping us to rekindle the love of our church.
Well, and that fed the whole village, and that served the whole village, where we are seen as the downtown church. We're seen as the church in Brooklyn, which means when we have things like Trunk or Treat or VBS or the chili cook-off, there with the Christmas tree lighting, we are just part of the community. And I don't think we overlook it, but I think we need to realize that we are seen as part of this community, and those things that, okay, we've got to make some chili. No, like that's actually a service to the community. And that's a big deal to people in the community. There was somebody that called this week to say, hey, are y'all doing Trunk or Treat this year? And they said, well, yes, we're doing it. We're starting it this time. And they got off the phone and somebody said, well, is that a church member? And they said, no, it was somebody in the community that came last year and just wanted to make sure y'all were doing it again. And so realizing the role and that we do serve the people in the community and the importance of that and not overlooking that importance.
So the question would be, how has the youth program and its various programs either planted, watered, fostered the seed of faith within you?
We were invited to Berkeley United Methodist by a youth, Brandon Bradford. He was he was in my son's class, and he was bound to a wheelchair, and he befriended my son. And my son was coming to church before we did. We didn't even know who Christ was. And Brandon invited my son, and then we followed. And from there, Jamie Goldstone, who is a past youth pastor, he kind of pushed me into leading the youth and the ladies. So I think that because of the youth program, because of Brandon Bradford, I attribute, of course, God made it all happen, but I attribute my salvation to that young man in the youth program. And the youth program has kept us here. And I attribute it all to youth, most definitely.
Have a breakfast every Thursday morning for the youth, and it has grown tremendously over the past year. I would say we have consistently 60 to 80 kids. It's a cool thing to see and be a part of. From my end, it's really neat to see the group that gets together every Thursday morning to work for these kids, and just the relationships that I've been able to make with some of the older folks in the church that are not necessarily in this Sunday school class. It's just neat to see people that their kids may have gone through that program 20 years ago, but they're still an active part in helping to, that's how they reach out to the kids. So it's a really neat thing, and it's something that I'm happy to do and be a part of.
So one of the things I really like about the youth breakfast is now the devotions are done by the kids, and so it's really pushed some of them out of their comfort zones.
Yeah, and the fact that a lot of the kids that are coming to youth breakfast are not members of our church, and they're actually stepping up and doing devotionals as well. And Caroline's doing a good job of pushing those kids into leadership roles.
Caroline, Maddie, and Chip have come to my Faith in Motion show, and they have come to the end of the year recitals to see the kids perform and dance, and I just think that's great support from them.
They've also come to everything in the community, like the pumpkin parade for the elementary school, and so the kids are getting used to seeing them at their events, and I think that's a big ministry.
Well, it shows that they care.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we first came to church here, we were met with by Kate Keith, and she gave us the pie. And we went home and we talked about that pie and how great it was. And I've since then had the privilege of leading that pie ministry. And I was Lisa Martin, might not be saying her name right, but she was one woman who cooked all these pies. She has a 6-pie recipe, and she would go out and give the pies to all new members, or all new first-time people coming to the church. And now it takes a whole group of ladies separated into months, each month to bake all these pies to do what this one woman did. And I think it's really special to be able to give first-time visitors the pie, and to I know the smile that Kate had and the warm welcome when we first came, it meant everything to us. And we came back. Of course, she invited us to the George Roebuck Sunday School class, but we joined, and I think that pie ministry is huge in this church. It makes people remember us, and it makes us stand out as the pie church.